This is so true about Cody and Janelle. So it's going to sound critical of Christine, but I'm just going to go with it, which is Christine was always asking for more from Cody. Did she deserve it? Yes, but she was always asking for more. She wanted more. She wanted more time. She wanted more engagement. She wanted to be treated as well as Robin, all of those things. So I can see why her and Cody had this constant push back and forth, because Cody didn't want to do that. He was not going to do that. He was never going to treat anybody as well as Robin, because I don't think it was possible, in the sense that Robin got more than her fair share. So it wouldn't be possible. I don't know that he could have treated Christine and Robin the same and had enough time in the day, because I think he gave so much favoritism to Robin, he couldn't have. But let's compare that with with Janelle. Janelle did not need much. She didn't seem to care. She never complained, even up until the very end, how much time he spent with her. She seemed just fine if he just sort of slunk in here and there. We don't know about their sex life. I just know that whatever she was getting was sufficient. And I imagine that it was very little. But they were fine. They just liked to talk and hang out. All he had to do was stop harassing her. All he had to do was say, you want dogs? Fine. You know I don't like dogs, but whatever. I'm only here 1 out of 7 days, 1 out of every 2 weeks. I'll just shut my mouth and be quiet. Oh, you want to live in an RV? Okay. I'm not going to be living in an RV. You know, like, I think that he even could have said, I love you, honey. I'm not sleeping in the RV with the dogs. Like, that's fine. And she would have been like, oh, okay, as long as you come and help me level it and don't complain and tell me how much fun it is and how much you love me. I think she would have been fine. I think he could have said, hey, babe, I love you, but I can't be around you and the boys during COVID because the boys aren't safe. But I love you. And hey, boys, it's cool. When we're back into a safe place, we'll hang out. And I think she would have been fine. I think the kids would have been fine with it. But no, it wasn't sufficient. It's like, not only did he give her almost nothing, but he expected full obedience from her at all time. And her children, her adult children, she needed, you know, like, he got into it with Hunter, and Hunter doesn't even live there, because he was just kind of like, Dad, these rules aren't making sense, and they're not making sense. And she never, as I saw, really called him out on the fact that he could go to a funeral and be safe, and it was okay, but he couldn't go to a surgery for Christine, for Isabel. And he could decide when it was safe and when it wasn't safe to go places, but his sons couldn't decide that. Like, he could go to a funeral, but his sons couldn't decide whether or not their job was safe. I mean, at some point, you just got to be like, hey, I disagree with you, but it is not my life. You're fine. And I think Janelle very willingly would have been like, hey, I totally respect it. You don't feel safe exposing your kids. Thank you for loving and respecting my decision to do things a little bit differently. I won't even get to the whole COVID thing about whether or not she was unsafe, because as far as I can tell, she was safe. It just wasn't certain rules that Cody decided the CDC even said no to.